Ladies and gentlemen, there's a Washington Post article today. Again, there's no evidence Hillary Clinton started the Russia probe. When they write that, the reality, of course, is that there is evidence. The Washington Post cannot possibly believe that Peter Strzok, who said, "We'll stop Trump," or that the Christopher Steele, who was literally paid by the Clinton campaign through their law firm and Fusion GPS, so they outsource everything. But they cannot possibly believe the Steele dossier, the Alpha Bank allegations, the Michael Sussman lie, Peter Strzok saying we'll stop Trump, Andrew McCabe getting money from Democrats in Virginia, James Comey basically part of everything, claiming that he didn't know the Steele dossier was purchased by Clinton. All of these coincidences. If everything benefits Clinton and harms Trump, you cannot possibly be suspicious. You have to say, well, there's no signed admission. There's no oath in, there's no signed, testimony stating that I, Madam Secretary, approved every single thing, helped influence the Bureau to investigate Trump with loyalists within the government. Signed, Clinton, Robbie Mook, Mark Elias, Glenn Simpson, Christopher Steele, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, the Hall of Shame of political operatives. There is evidence. There's a lot of evidence. First of all, they purchased the Steele dossier, and they sent people to infiltrate the DOJ and the Federal Bureau of Investigation and other agencies, the Central Intelligence Agency, Sussman being one of these people who's now indicted. But you can look, and it's like, why was there so much chatter about Trump and Russia? Because so many things had emerged to draw attention to the unusual nature of the candidate's approach to that country. There was no unusual nature to the candidate's approach. President Obama came in 2008 with literally a Russian reset. Literally a reset. So there was a gigantic goofy reset button that Secretary of State, Madam Secretary, with who was it? The Foreign Minister Lavrov from that country, where they were trying to completely reset. Then there was the Uranium One deal while Madam Secretary was in office, with millions from a corporation that was eventually controlled by the government we're now sanctioning and blaming for everything. So the Kremlin actually ended up owning a company that gave money into the foundation while President Obama didn't veto the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity at the time. But the Washington Post has a problem with the Wall Street Journal's editorial board. Hillary Clinton did it. Well, the Washington Post knows very well that it was the Clinton campaign and the DNC who already admitted to FEC fines and violations, that they used campaign donations to purchase a dossier that was then utilized by other government agencies to investigate Trump. This article in the Washington Post goes on to say that Alexander Downer informed the campaign that Clinton's emails, that the DNC informed the campaign of the DNC emails. So the release of material stolen by Russia near the end of the month began an Australian diplomat urged an Australian diplomat to inform U.S. law enforcement that an advisor to Trump's campaign had told him a few months prior that the Kremlin had emails belonging to Clinton. So what? That's not national security. How on earth does the author of the Washington Post think that emails belonging to Clinton that she basically illegally took from the United States government, top secret and special access program intelligence, were on those emails? You can't just say that you have 30,000 private emails and never use a private email server. That alone, whether you have operatives working in concert or unison or having some kind of symbiotic relationship, that alone you could indict everybody under 18 U.S. Code 371. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe also below to the Stock Market Crash channel. I have a segment there right now, and in the Bitcoin Crash to 10,000 or below channel. I have a segment out right now. I've been telling everybody what's taking place in the market, in the economy, since September of last year. I told everyone we're heading into a terrible, terrible market crash, and we are. The market will go up, down, up, down. It can go back up to 33,000. It'll crash hard down to 25,000 and probably below. Bitcoin will get to 10,000 or below. We're heading into a recession. And so I've been telling you this since October of last year in the Federalist. I was published, and I started in September on the Stock Market Crash channel, and also in September of last year in 2021 on this channel. You can watch the playlist. Hit subscribe if you want to become a member. Become a member of this channel. If you want to give this segment a super thanks, go ahead. But ladies and gentlemen, the best thing to do is word of mouth. Go ahead, tell people about this channel. We're almost at 200,000 subs. But I have a segment on both of those channels below. So in the pinned comment, go right there after this segment and watch those segments on the Bitcoin Crash and the Stock Market Crash channels. The release of material stolen by the Kremlin. Okay, so we still don't know. Again, we still don't know if anyone stole the DNC emails, because the DNC servers were never given to the United States government. Yet again, Clinton outsourced a third-party tech firm. The third-party tech firm then stated that yes, whatever, hacking group associated with the Kremlin took the DNC emails to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated, thus forcing Debbie Wasserman Schultz to resign and promptly join Clinton. Everything has to do with making national security about the Democratic Party and its chances and its political chances, or its chances within political contests. So it's not national security. Clinton's emails, they are national security when they have top secret and special access program intelligence on them, running on servers outside of the United States government. Morally superior Democrats don't know what that means, but it's bad. Okay? Yeah, very bad, as you know. And by the way, I want a Clinton-Trump 2024 or a Clinton-DeSantis, Hillary-DeSantis 2024. I want a rematch. We're still living in 2016. We need to exercise those demons. But, and that's a whole other story. But I want Hillary to be the Democratic nominee. Believe me. It would be the best thing for the country, actually. But anyway, she almost certainly committed numerous crimes. Well, she did. The fact that Comey didn't find intent, and they utilized the Steele dossier, and they went after the Alpha Bank allegations, and Strzok just coincidentally said, we'll stop Trump. Then there was an insurance policy that they talked about, the assistant director, and all of these people have glowing public relations press releases and wonderful articles about them in the Washington Post and the New York Times, and they're on MSNBC and CNN. Gee, what a coincidence! If one person went to Fox News, it would be, oh my God, Trump, he's infiltrated everything. The article here in the Washington Post is, of course, just flip the meaning or the phrase. Yes, again, there is evidence Clinton began the Russia probe. If it's about her emails, see, the thing is, you're not going to get, with 18 U.S. Code 371, you're not going to get anybody here who conspired against and to defraud the United States government. I wrote in the Federalist in 2019, Comey and McCabe should be charged under 18 U.S. Code 371 for conspiring to defraud the country. When the Washington Post says that it began because Alexander Downer, who has ties to her foundation, Bill and Hillary's, when Alexander Downer notified the Bureau, that should have been the beginning of an investigation not into Trump, into all of these people conspiring against Trump. Who cares if Alexander Downer thought he heard something from George Papadopoulos? When was the last time any intel agency started an investigation based on gossip about Clinton or Bill Clinton or mashed potato brains Biden? God forbid we learned about his son's emails. We couldn't even talk about that on Twitter or any social media platform or any platform until the coast was clear and, we could now talk about it. The truth about them is just that the truth about them isn't as important to them as gossip and hearsay about Trump. That's why when the Washington Post says, it started with, an Australian diplomat. It should never have started with an Australian diplomat who had ties to Clinton. Or Joseph Mifsud, then one of the people involved in setting up George Papadopoulos, retracted everything he said to the Bureau and also lied to the Bureau. Law enforcement also understood that Russia was continuing to try to influence 2016. How? Publishing in October about possible... So this was nonsense. They will go after Trump. See, we can't talk about Trump's views on certain things. Okay? That's how Orwellian the world we live in. But they did not accept from 2016 onward Trump defeating Clinton. They said that others interfered, that another country interfered because they wanted Trump. Well, guess what? According to The Guardian and many other publications, Putin was actually quoted as saying he would much rather have Obama than McCain or than Bush. So does that mean that they interfered in 2008? No. There are always going to be countries that side with one or another political candidate. That's in politics in every country in the world. That's always been the case. Okay? They were saying that Jimmy Carter was better for the Soviets than Reagan. So what does that mean? The Soviets wanted Jimmy Carter? What is that? It's the most absurd, stupid, nonsensical propaganda spin. And just because you have an ODNI report and a DHS report that said they had high to moderate confidence that another country was trying to influence our 2016. Well, how is the influence? The influence was what? Emails that showed that Bernie Sanders was cheated? You don't think the Washington Post was trying to influence the election with the hot mic of Trump and the locker room talk? You don't think they were trying to influence? Okay, when the Washington Post influences the election, but not anyone else? God forbid we learn that Bernie Sanders was cheated? So when Bernie Sanders gets completely railroaded, and we learned that from the DNC emails, not one person was charged with conspiring alongside foreign intelligence officials to publish those emails. And yet we're supposed to believe that another country, it was an assault on democracy. They don't even have a functioning primary. And they're talking about democracy. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Go to the Stock Market Crash channel and also go to Bitcoin Crash to 10,000 or below channel. I don't want it to happen, but it will. You have this, the Sussman trial is ongoing, and defense is yet to make its case. Perhaps there was a ploy to use contrived information to begin an investigation of Trump, as Durham appears to hope to prove. But crucially, it didn't. No, crucially, it did. Absolutely. Because the author in the Washington Post is not suspicious of Democrats, but they're suspicious of Trump, and they trust partisans within the government. And you have Strzok, who was kicked off of a Mueller probe. How much contempt do you need of Trump to be kicked off of a Mueller probe? My God. See, the thing is, the privilege that they pontificate about is what they exemplify and what they embody every day. They think that they can buy dossiers and infiltrate the Bureau with absurd allegations like Sussman did when he lied to Baker. They think it's fine. Because you know what? There was an ongoing. We were suspicious of Trump because outgoing intel officials in a Democratic outgoing administration said that another country, the Ruskies did that and we had a Cold War and they were back at it again. And then you get these people who are like, yes, there was a message board almost certainly started by a Democratic operative that I called out 3-4 years ago saying it's an absurd nonsense, very harmful. But the Russia hoax, it's in many ways worse. You have the entire United States government, half the population, thinking that Trump was installed by another country. Because they can't possibly accept the fact they cheated their own candidate who could have won. Bernie Sanders would have won in 2016. Yes, he would have. I know people say I'm crazy, I'm nuts, but he would have. I support Trump. I support DeSantis. I want a great economy, and I want a president that opposes the Lincoln Project and the president that the Lincoln Project opposes, not this mashed potato brains monstrosity or sad state of affairs we have now, where you have Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, Lincoln Project people who are completely disgraced. Every single day there's like more disgrace, and never had a foreign policy decision that ever worked, ever. Endless counterinsurgency conflicts that always turned out horribly for this country and other countries. Pushed by the Lincoln Project people, Bill Kristol, those types of people who are now in the Democratic Party. As good Democrats, good sensible Republicans. These people, like, I support Trump. He opposes them. That's all I need to know. But Trump presided over a great economy, great foreign policy, not what we have now, everything collapsing. And you look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like, I'm giving you an objective take. Bernie Sanders at that moment, even though he's a tool of the Democratic Party, would have won. They cheated him. 3 Supreme Court justices, Roe v. Wade being overturned, their fault. They went ahead. They wanted to have the cake. They wanted to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted Clinton no matter what. And all the polls showed that she would win in the landslide, and she lost. Like I said, she would. And I want a Clinton-Trump rematch. Obviously, I think that the same result would take place. But they ruined their only chance to win in 2016, and they've been reliving it every single year. And then they're indignant when Trump doesn't respect results, when they don't respect results. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Go to the stock market crash and the Bitcoin crash channel below right this second.